Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Global God Choice. Only I choose Saiyan Bloodline 36. Chapter 36. Chapter 36. Freshman Combat Test. Invite me to join the army. In the conference room, Shu Heng's puzzled voice sounded. He felt very strange. Didn't he have rejected the military before? Why are you still looking for him? That's right, the military wants to invite you to join them. And tomorrow, their high-level officials will come in person. The principal's voice sounded again. Frankly, the school really wants you to stay. If you can stay, the school will give you the best resources. No matter what your requirements are, the school will try its best to meet you. If there is no school, we will mobilize the greatest resources and go outside to help you search. Also, our school has 4 faculties and departments, in addition to the regular training resources. We also have historical civilization and scientific research materials and books. As long as you are interested, you can read them for free at any time. I don't dare to say the rest, but the diversity of various classics in the school is absolutely unmatched by the military. Of course, schools are not omnipotent. Because the military has been fighting in the fog for a long time, it has very rich combat experience and many strong people. In addition, the ruins in the world are usually guarded by the military, although their entry also requires conditions, but it is definitely much more convenient than the schools. Opposite the principal, Shu Heng listened to his introduction and said, "Headmaster, don't worry, I won't join the army for the time being, I plan to stay at the school." In fact, even without the principal's persuasion, he would choose to stay at the school. As the principal just said, in the school, it can get a more diverse education. Every academic year, the 4 major colleges and departments in the school will open classes with each other, and give students from other majors a popular science knowledge of this major, which is very important for the breadth of students' knowledge. In the army, although you can get more top-notch cultivation resources. However, Shu Heng is also very clear that the army usually issues various tasks, and the military orders are like mountains, and many mandatory task notices are likely to interrupt his practice rhythm and schedule. The most important thing is that if you choose something special in the ruins, the military may use the military order as an excuse to make it public, just like this time, you have entered the 4th and 5th floors. If the military, he will definitely order him to tell why he can survive there and kill the queen. And schools don't care about such things, they only care about rankings. In addition, Shu Heng likes freedom by nature, and the atmosphere of forced management in the army is obviously not in line with his character. So, no matter what, he will not choose to go to the army at present. Opposite him, the principal was very happy to hear Shu Heng's affirmative words. Next to the principal, other school leaders also laughed happily. Someone stood up and said, "Shu Heng, don't worry, we will give the logistics department more funding resources and increase investment in the logistics department in the future. Don't worry about yourself, we learned that you are in Son Goku's bloodline, but the world is full of wonders. In some ruins, it is possible to replace the bloodline. When you try it, you may be able to change to a more powerful basic bloodline." Hearing this, Shu Heng smiled and did not respond. Bloodline replacement? What are you kidding? Saiyan's bloodline, how could he go back and replace it? During Shu Heng's silence, the principal on the opposite side spoke again. "Shu Heng, don't go to training today. Every year, after the freshman's experience, the school will organize a new student's combat strength test. Don't miss this freshman test because of training. In addition to the freshman test, there will be teachers who will explain a lot of knowledge to you, such as the detailed classification of warriors, which is not something you can learn in high school. Martial artist ranking, freshman combat test." After Shu Heng heard it, he was also very curious. In this world, the space that human beings can live in is actually very limited. Most of the area is shrouded in fog, and the depths of the fog are full of various unknown beasts and monsters. How many monsters there are in the world and how big the scope of the fog is, it can be said that no one can accurately explain. Most ordinary people can only live within high walls for their entire lives, under the protection of warriors. That is to say, most people live in ivory towers and do not know the truth of this world. They only know that beyond the high wall, there are a large number of monsters. However, they will never have the opportunity to contact. Before going to college, Shu Heng also belonged to the ranks of ordinary people. He also has no chance to contact the warriors, and he will not know the details of the warriors. Therefore, he is very much looking forward to what the principal said about the martial artist level and the truth of the world. Ellipsis 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 ellipsis. In the principal's conference room, Xu Heng learned that the freshmen were going to undergo a combat test. A large number of new students are constantly pouring into the playground, and they are constantly talking while walking. Why did I just come back from the ruins, and now I have to gather again? Is there a new ruin to open? Or are there other tasks? My brother is a junior. I asked him, this is a freshman test, an annual practice. My brother said that after the freshman's experience, the school will test the results of the experience. To see how well our freshmen's bloodlines fit together, and how much their spiritual willpower has grown, they can also give students a basic combat power rating. Quote. And, if your score in the combat test is good enough, maybe you can join the student council. The student union is an organization formed spontaneously by the students of the school. Every year, the student union recruits a group of potential freshmen. They are in charge of much of the school's student affairs, such as scholarship selection. If the combat power test is good enough, it can also represent the school and participate in the national ring competition. The stronger the overall strength of our freshmen, the higher the school's ranking. At that time, the Ministry of Education will allocate more funds and training resources, and our students will benefit more. On the playground, there are more and more new students, the crowd gradually gathers, and there are noisy discussions everywhere. You said, who will be the first in this combat power test? I don't know who the first one is, but it's probably not that Xu Heng. After all, he just fits Son Goku. Although his mental power is not bad, his real combat power is estimated to be bad. Actually, it's a pity. The results of the relic experience are so good, and the result is a Son Goku. That's right, if it fits Piccolo, no matter how bad it is, it fits with a Tien Shinhan. With his performance in the Dream Ruins, he is definitely the #1 freshman fighting force this year. Just as everyone was talking about it, the broadcast on the playground suddenly sounded. All freshmen, gather as soon as possible, the freshman test will start immediately. Ellipsis 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 dot. Global God Choice. Only I Choose Saiyan Bloodline 37. Chapter 37. Chapter 37. True Budo Classification. At the beginning of the playground set of new students at the start of combat power test preparation. High school students also heard the news. The school cafeteria, there are a lot of people are talking about. I have heard today, freshmen, to be tested fighting force. I do not know this term newborn, how to color values, there are a few hotties. Superficial, you will care about these things. However, this term newborn very strong the first is said to have set a previous record, do not know how this kind of combat power of his test scores. This really powerful reportedly went into the 4th floor, and I had in the first layer was eliminated, even now, cannot go to the 4th floor. Then with a school brother, I simply battle of 5 flag Quote. School, student's office, the same few people, talking about the newborn combat capability test things. This is the first freshman, seems to be very powerful, records are maxed out, we come not to think about it absorb. Hey, it is not that a 4th layer of it, I have been to many times. As long as you believe, there are all a dream, then quickly turning around. So I think this is the first freshman, in fact, considerable water is not necessary too much attention. Quote. That is completely different, you are a junior, I do not know how many relics have experienced, and also the fog had personally kill evil beasts. Go dream remains, that does not like to play. But people freshmen you just had I came not so horrible it. Quote. After the remains of experience, if that is fighting force newborn tested it, it should be about to start. Here, the student union office room, a figure suddenly stood up, toward the other man said, new test is about to begin, inform others, go to the playground, take a look at his fighting force to say. On school grounds, at the moment already crowded, not only have to be tested in the newborn, there are a lot of other high school students come to the onlookers. Playground somewhere, there are 2 people talk. Haha, talk of the town, have not seen you for a year, the closed door effect how ah. Another person replied, never mind, retreats a year, the bottleneck absolutely no loose. The exit, just hit newborn testing, come along for the ride. At the school gates, a figure came in a hurry from the outside, the body of evil spirits come around to let his classmates shunned. This in fog, evil beasts met a lord choice, and with great effort, just let him get away, he said to himself some depressed. Then, he heard the people around them talk, new test. Anyway, all right, to pass the dreary time. On the playground, full of boiling loud voice, which has several volunteers dressed in clothing of the figure, holding a stack of information, the shuttle in the crowd. Just left the principal's office Shu Heng, was suddenly stopped by a volunteer, hello classmates, understand Shongsho in a fighter class classifying it. Do you want to see? Shongsho level, Shu Heng just come to school soon, has been in contact with the remains, in this regard, he really did not find out about the details, but before the university, in order to allow ordinary people living order will not collapse, they are absolutely not allowed access to such information. So, easily took in information, glanced at, and instantly shocked. Ellipsis 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 dot dot. The world, weapons grade, so far, there are as many as 10 levels, my practice still a long way off. Looking at the data in hand, Shu Heng could not help but shocked. In addition, Wong level and extraordinary level actually is not the same, I thought the king class is shorthand for it. Information on Shu Heng C, and weapons grade is divided into 10 stages. Respectively, warrior, master, grandmaster, lords, the great lords, king level, the level of God, the king extraordinary level of God, emperor level. On the imperial class, who do not know what was. Even if there is not an ordinary student can come into contact with the combat power of ordinary people, usually 5, commonly known as the Battle of 5 Slag. And if you become a fighter, I can usually hit a 10, that is, combat power of the warrior is at least 50. New students can strengthen their spiritual power by matching their bloodline, carrying out dream relics, and then training for a period of time in accordance with the requirements of the school, plus the guidance and teaching of their instructors, and they usually reach this level. Grandmaster, at least 300 combat power is required. Therefore, they are usually senior students and relatively rare among freshmen. Master Roshi, who can burst out Super Kamehameha, belongs to this level. Of course, as the degree of fit increases, it will continue to enter the ruins to strengthen and hone, and its strength will be stronger. Great masters are extremely rare. Those who can reach this level before graduation can be called excellent graduates, and their combat power must reach at least 1000. The Lord, usually the realm of the teacher, is generally not reached by the students. Its combat power is at least 3000, and most teachers are at this level. The High Lord level is usually at least the Dean. The previous letting teacher, Shu Tian, was at this level. Moreover, Shushan is at the top of the Great Lord, and it is only one step away from the King level. As for his strength, it is unknown why he came to teach freshmen in the logistics department. Above the Big Lord, the realm of King level or later, its combat power value cannot be tested by conventional methods, and it is basically not within the range that students can touch. Freshmen in the first year, after 1 year of study, can reach the master level in the second year, which is quite good. Of course, there are also individual freshmen with a very high degree of fit, who can also reach the master level in their freshman year. Such students are generally very talented. As for the beasts, there are also grades. Ferocious beasts all over the world, due to their wide variety and different shapes, usually cannot be divided too finely. You can only use 1 to 9 levels for simple division, and beyond that, it is not accessible to ordinary students. Only high-level human beings have corresponding information. Tier 4 vicious beasts are roughly equivalent in strength to human lords, so Tier 4 vicious beasts are also called Lord-level vicious beasts. In the same way, Rank 6 beasts are equivalent to human king rank masters, so they are called king rank beasts. Usually, a king-level beast can command a lot of other beasts, thus causing a beast tide. In the Dream Ruins, the alien queen on the 3rd floor belongs to the 3rd order fierce beast, which is roughly equivalent to the level of the Great Master of human beings. However, because it is a dreamland, it is generally accepted that the real combat power is far inferior to the third order in the fog. Especially if you know the characteristics of dreams, you can limit the queen's combat power. Seeing this, Xu Heng was a little curious. If the alien queen is a tier 3 beast, then I should be at the Grandmaster level. When I first killed it, I didn't think it was a dream. Also, even if it was a dream relic, I even went to the 5th floor, has been greatly improved. The 10th level of martial arts is called the Emperor level. After Son Goku Super Saiyan is successfully transformed, he can directly destroy a planet. I don't know who is stronger and who is weaker than the Emperor level master. At this moment, there were bursts of exclamations from the playground. Ellipsis 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 dot dot. My God, the comprehensive combat power is 81, and it has directly reached the martial artist level. The freshman, who has only entered the school for 2 weeks, has become a martial artist. I don't know if I can be promoted to a Grandmaster before my sophomore year. If so, that's really amazing. Seeing where the martial arts department was, Sheng Feng walked out of the crowd with a smug smile on his face. Musha, this is the existence that ordinary people in the fence will look up to all their lives. Global God Choice. Only I choose Saiyan Bloodline 38. Chapter 38. Chapter 38. This is Xu Heng's true combat power. As expected of a Master Roshi fit, the combat power is still strong. I can officially become a martial artist before I become a sophomore, and I am very satisfied. I don't want to be a martial artist before my sophomore year. As long as I can become a martial artist before graduation, I will be satisfied. It's alright, it's not as perverted as you said. Unless you can bypass the martial artist and become a Grandmaster directly, that's really powerful. After all, many students can't break through the Grandmaster even when they graduate. Seeing that Shang Feng's test results were quite good, the surrounding students began to discuss, full of envy. Next, combat test, 18 inches. Next, combat test, 25 inches. After Shang Feng finished the test, the teacher ignored the surrounding discussions and started to test the other students in order. Shang Feng has the bloodline of Master Roshi, and with a good fit, he has also entered the 2nd floor of the Dream Ruins, and has initially mastered the use of Kamehameha, so he directly became a warrior. Others, however, are not so great. Basically, they are in a range that is slightly stronger than ordinary people. After all, before the college entrance examination, they also received the education of ordinary people, and it was only about 2 weeks after entering the university, and it was basically impossible for any qualitative change to occur. Next, Xu Xiaojia. Hearing this name, the noisy discussions around seemed to quiet down a bit. With an extraordinary bloodline, he mastered the flying technique in a short period of time, ranked 2nd in the kill list, and also entered the 3rd layer of dreams. The willpower should be astonishing. So everyone is very curious, what level of her combat power will reach. Xu Xiaojia, Combat Power Test, 305, Master Level. In the curiosity of the crowd, the teacher's excited voice sounded. In an instant, the originally quiet playground immediately began to boil. Is this an extraordinary bloodline? Those who are capable of assisting can achieve such a high level of combat power. If they are fighting, they must not break through the sky. Auxiliary Shang is also very powerful. Grandmaster level combat power, this is not comparable to ordinary combat Shang warriors. If she stands and doesn't run, you probably won't be able to beat her. Damn it, I didn't expect it. I thought Shang Feng was the strongest in the martial arts department. I didn't expect this girl to look inconspicuous and have such a strong fighting power. She fits the blood of an immortal. Immortals and humans are fundamentally different. I just didn't expect that her combat power would be so high. Could it be because of entering the 3rd floor of the Dream Ruins? Who knows? In short, it's outrageous, and you will become a master within a few days of admission. It is estimated that before graduation, she will be able to attack the Lord. At that time, it is very likely that she will be rated as an excellent graduate, and she will not only receive a large number of graduation awards, but also be recruited by senior departments. The future is bright. The classmates started a lively discussion, louder than Shang Feng's test discussion just now. After all, although Master Roshi is good, it is not particularly rare to be able to successfully fit, and there are a few cases every year. However, the rarity of the extraordinary bloodline, the inheritance of the clergy, has skyrocketed, and sometimes you can't find one for several years. As for Shang Feng, when he heard such an amount of combat power, he only felt that his brain was buzzing. Xu Xiaojia, who has been assisting himself, has more than 300 combat power. More than 200 more than yourself. What are you kidding? Next, Xu Heng. Hearing this name, Shang Feng clenched his fists and his face was ashen. The heated discussions around him suddenly quieted down. Freshman first. Enter the fourth layer of dreams. The man who broke the school freshman record. How strong is his combat power? Many people are very curious. Outside the playground, several people in student union uniforms are watching. You said, how much strength is he really? Can he be higher than that little girl? It shouldn't work. After all, he only fits Son Goku, and Xu Xiaojia is different. You may not know it, but I know some rumors about her. Her brother is an extraordinary king-level powerhouse. The family is also very rich, and he went to school. At that time, it is the level of a warrior, but it looks harmless to humans and animals, and it looks weak. Hee. Number. I think it's nonsense. That guy Xu Heng entered the fourth floor. Xu Xiaojia came out from the third floor. Why don't you make a bet? Children or not? Okay, no matter what, our student department can get in touch. After all, he is also a good student. While everyone was silent on the playground, Xu Heng stepped forward and stood in front of the test equipment. He was also very curious as to how much his fighting power was. He killed so many alien monsters and even alien queens in the dream space. I just don't know how different dreams are from reality. The combat strength test is very simple, just bombard the strength tester with maximum force. Not in the ink, Xu Heng used all his strength and slammed out a punch. Boom! A sound of steel colliding came from Xu Heng's fist and spread all around. Then, on the test instrument, the number originally 0 jumped to 512 in an instant, and then stopped directly. Xu Heng, Combat Power Test, 512. Beside, the test teacher looked at the numbers on the instrument and exclaimed excitedly, his voice trembling slightly. Around the playground, the atmosphere that was slightly quiet because of Xu Heng's appearance exploded instantly. The discussion was more lively and boiling than the discussion when Xu Xiaojia of the extraordinary bloodline was out. 512. Intermediate Grandmaster. This is actually a freshman and a Son Goku fit, I can't believe it. I only went to 2 ruins. Strictly speaking, I only had 1 experience. Many people have been in college for 4 years and countless times of training, but they have not reached this level. He actually succeeded from the beginning. What? It's outrageous. How did you do it? This guy has only been in school for more than 10 days, do you want to be so perverted? Come on, this guy, the background at home is awesome, right? Which stupid pen said he was a waste before? Stand up and take 2 steps. The logistics department has found a treasure this time. The Department of Martial Arts is insane. This kind of talent was let go by just 1 bloodline fit. Maybe the instrument is broken. Surrounded by exclamations, there was a sensation and uproar. However, Xu Heng did frown slightly when he looked at the combat power numbers displayed together. He thought the number was a little weird. Just now the number jumped directly from 0 to 512 without any intermediate transition, which is obviously abnormal. Generally, it starts from 0, and the number changes slowly. Even if it grows faster, it doesn't jump to 512 so directly, and it doesn't move in an instant. This instrument won't break, right? Xu Heng thought to himself. Ellipsis 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 ellipsis. Global God Choice. Only I choose Saiyan Bloodline 39. Chapter 39. Chapter 39. The old man who was transferred to the gravity room to watch the door. Xu Heng especially suspects that the instrument is broken. However, since the teacher in charge of the test didn't speak, and he didn't ask for a retest, the strength is on him, and it doesn't matter if he takes the test or not. Testing is just to satisfy the curiosity of others. If the real combat power is exposed, it is not a good thing. Many people even secretly hide their combat power. Thinking of this, I ignored the boiling classmates behind me and turned to leave the test site. Not far away, the principal's eyes have been paying attention to here, and seeing Xu Heng's test results, he was instantly overjoyed. Next to the principal, stood an old man. If Xu Heng was here, he would definitely recognize the identity of the old man. He was the janitor in front of the training room. Seeing Xu Heng leave, the principal directly asked someone to replace it with a new instrument and continue the test. As for the instrument that Xu Heng had beaten just now, it fell into the hands of the gatekeeper. Holding the test equipment, the old man laughed. When the principal saw the old man who was suddenly smiling, he felt something was wrong. What's the matter? What's the problem? This thing is provided by your logistics department. No problem, it's normal. The janitor waved his hand to the principal and didn't say much. Seeing the uncle waving his hand, the principal was stunned for a moment, and thoughtfully, he didn't ask any more questions. Ellipsis 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 dot dot. On the playground, the heated discussions continued, and the influence continued to expand. This first-year junior is really unexpected. I have been here for 2 years, and my combat power has not exceeded 300. So far, it is only a warrior level. It's really unexpected. I thought it might be a little tall, but I didn't expect it to be so tall. It surpassed that little girl directly. This strength is no worse than that of the student union and the ministers of various departments. I think it needs to be carefully considered. Far away from the playground, several people in student union uniforms looked at Xu Heng with a combat power of 512, all in a state of confusion. Next to the playground, Xu Xiaojia is also paying attention to Xu Heng. After he finished the test just now, he did not leave, but wanted to wait for Xu Heng's results. No wonder he can kill so many murderer monsters. He is so much stronger than me. I have to work hard, otherwise I will be dragged back next time, and I will be able to catch up. Xu Xiaojia looked at Xu Heng and made up her mind secretly. Ellipsis 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 ellipsis. Xu Heng did not pay attention to this kind of excellent grades and the concern of countless students. In high school, every time he took the exam, he was the first in liberal arts. There are many who worship him. That kind of envy, jealousy, and sour eyes, he has long been used to it. He is now. I just want to get stronger. Before coming to test. The school has already transferred 30 million to his account. With the money, he headed straight to the gravity training room. Birds dripping in pairs on the tree. When Xu Heng arrived at the gravity training room, he heard a familiar voice again. The janitor who used to be in front of the ordinary training room. Now it's here. Hey, boy, long time no see. Do you want to enter the gravity training room? The cost here is quite expensive. It costs 10,000 yuan for an hour of training, and more than 200,000 yuan for a day. Are you sure you want to enter? On the opposite side of the old man, Xu Heng felt a little strange and a little surprised when he heard his words. It's only 10,000 an hour. Didn't my roommate say 10,000 a minute and 600,000 an hour? The roommate's news is not so accurate. Now, even if I stay for a whole day, it's only 240,000 yuan. Plus the school gave me a 50% discount, and it's only 120,000 yuan a day. If I train until the eve of the national joint competition, it will only cost me more than 10 million yuan without stopping day and night. A little bit. Suddenly, I feel that this gravity training room is very conscientious, and it's not that expensive. If others knew what Xu Heng was thinking, they would probably vomit blood directly. After calculating the cost of the gravity training room, Xu Heng hurriedly asked the old man to open the door for him. With such cheap and easy-to-use equipment, it must not be a waste of time. Opening the door, Xu Heng walked into the gravity training room. Moment. 10 times gravity is on. A huge gravity swept over. The gravity here is obviously stronger than the outside world, and I feel that it is very difficult to even lift my legs. It's like adding a layer of weight to people at any time. If the gravity level is increased to a higher level, then after I finish a set of training programs, it is estimated that I will be able to collapse directly. Xu Heng, who walked into the room, felt the changes in the training room and felt very satisfied. Only with this level of stimulation can he continue to strengthen his strength. Then, he began to continue training. 5 hours passed in a blink of an eye. Xu Heng opened the door and walked out of the gravity training room with a slight gasp in his mouth. Not bad, the training effect this time is far better than before. Ellipsis 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 dot dot. Name: Xu Heng. Constitution: 6998. Spirit: 12832. Strength: 5006. Agility: 6213. Bloodline: Son Goku, Super Saiyan. Ellipsis 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 dot dot. Looking at the values on the attribute panel, Xu Heng was very surprised. He didn't expect the effect here to be so amazing. Although in absolute numbers, the training growth this time is not as great as before. However, to know that with his current physical strength, it is a little difficult to grow a little bit. Strength training is hard to double straight up like it used to be. If it is a regular training, it is estimated that there will be no change at all. And gravity training, at least, can make his strength have a slow growth. Moreover, this is only the effect of a relatively low gravity level. If the level is increased, the training effect may be greater. So, he is very satisfied. Boy! Suddenly, Xu Heng just heard a shout. It was the voice of the janitor. He looked up and found an instrument standing next to the old man at the gate. Is that a combat tester? However, this one is a little bigger than the new combat strength tester on the playground. Young man, during the freshman test just now, you also found that there was something wrong with that instrument. Hearing this, Xu Heng's face was slightly surprised. I feel this way, but I'm not quite sure. The old man's voice sounded again. The previous tester was used for freshmen. The limit was very low, and the maximum was only 500. If it exceeds 500, it is actually inaccurate. It is estimated that they did not expect to have such a strong freshman as you, so the prepared instruments are not that strong. After finishing speaking, the old man patted the instrument next to him and looked at Xu Heng. This instrument of mine has a higher limit of force measurement, the highest can reach 3000, which can reach the strength of a lord. Do you want to try again? Looking at the larger combat power tester, Xu Heng thought for a while and replied with a smile. Good. Ellipsis 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 ellipsis. Global God Choice. Only I choose Saiyan Bloodline 40. Chapter 40. Chapter 40. National Union Challenge Cup. Good. Xu Heng voice sounded sure, since the instrument is at hand, and then test again no problem. He is also a bit curious, their true strength in the end how much. Prior to the playground, he did not ask for the test again. The first did not want the limelight. The second is the replacement of equipment. Test again, it will waste a lot of time. Third, the fighting itself is a very intimate thing, directly exposed, not a good thing. This stuff is a critical moment, you can give a fatal blow. The original liberal arts, the teacher cannot talk less, although outside the fog, powerful beasts, but, very often, humans are worse than beasts. Ellipsis 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 dot. For now, the new instrument in sight, and this old man janitor, does not look simple. Xu Heng decided to try a little. Thought of this, Xu Heng stepped forward in the face of combat power tester. Call. He took a deep breath, adjusted to the best physical condition. Subsequently, the operation of the power of the body to the body belt, punch Hong Shong bitterly fighting force tester. Boom. Ellipsis ellipsis quote. Steel collision sound, emitted from the front Xu Heng, shocked people eardrum raw so. Then, the numbers on the front of the instrument to begin the rapid and uniform change. 0, 1, 3, 8, 15, 50, 80, 124,249, 304,430, 500,512. Soon, the figures reached on the playground before Shu Heng the measured results. However, the figures did not stop, but continued to soar upwards. 520,536,689. Soon, the number on the instrument, reaching more than 600, 700 encroaching away. Looking at the instrument soared to more than 600, 700 figures soon to be over. Shu Heng behind, the old man shocked face. He knew before Shu Heng's strength is not just measured out a bit. But, saw a more than 10 days before school freshman, soared to nearly 700 combat power, it will inevitably be surprised. The key is, the above test digit growth did not stop, still continue to rise. 699,720,756, 788,796. Soon, the data of more than 700, 800 straight away. 836, 882, 913. Eventually, the numbers on the instrument stopped at 913. Higher Order Master, Grandmaster Combat Power from 1000, only one step away. Hiss. Behind janitor uncle looked at the numbers behind the final stop, but also could not help but gasp. Face shocked. New students just 2 weeks, the high order directly became master. From becoming large master, one step only. This is what a metamorphosis. He can imagine, does not need a year, that is, before the end of Shu Heng freshman year, it is estimated will be able to officially become a Grandmaster. Grandmaster freshman, he has been unable to imagine the scene after the others to see. You know, to become a Grandmaster before senior year, it can be rated as outstanding graduates. High-level Grandmaster, Shu Heng, your hidden strength is really deep enough. If those guys outside knew your current strength, they would be shocked. Behind him, the old man's excited voice came. Just barely, it's all right. Compared to the surprised look of the gatekeeper, Shu Heng seemed much calmer, and silently analyzed in his heart. And the power of Saiyan's blood has not been released. When Saiyan is angry, he can often release more power than usual. However, it was just a mock test just now, and his emotions did not fluctuate, and he was very calm. If it is in a real combat, due to emotional fluctuations, I should be able to exert more power than I am now. Ellipsis 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 ellipsis. Let's go here today and go back to eat. After probably knowing his true strength, Shu Heng didn't delay, turned around and headed towards the door, ready to leave. Hey, Shu Heng, wait a minute. Seeing that Shu Heng was about to leave, the gatekeeper shouted and hurriedly stopped Shu Heng who was about to leave. Shu Heng, since you are so strong, there is one thing you should understand. Oh, Shu Heng turned around curiously, looked at the old man, and wanted to know what was going on. 3 months later, it will be the National Combined Arena. If you advance fast enough, you are very likely to represent our school to participate. So, you need to know the news about the National Arena, the old man explained to Shu Heng. National Combined Arena. Shu Heng was a little puzzled. Before, in the principal's office, he had heard the principal mention this competition. However, he only noticed the issue of bonuses at the time, and he didn't have time to ask carefully. The National Joint Arena is a martial arts competition jointly organized by colleges and universities across the country. In order to encourage the cultivation of students in major colleges and universities across the country, every year, the country chooses a college as a venue for the arena competition. If you can achieve good enough results in the ring competition, the state will give students a lot of rewards, which are much more generous than the schools. The state rewards are different every year. However, if you perform well enough, you are likely to get the opportunity to exchange abroad. So, you must perform well. Hearing this, Shu Heng was a little surprised that there is still the opportunity to go abroad, which is very helpful for the improvement of his own knowledge. Before, he only knew the name of the game, but the specific content was not clear. Uncle, thank you, Shu Heng expressed his gratitude to the gatekeeper. After all, the introduction of the old man gave him a better understanding. Hey, no thanks, just a small matter. Grandpa doesn't care. Your current strength is still too bad. Your combat strength test really surprised me before, but that's because our school is too ordinary. Your current strength is quite good in our school. However, looking at the whole country, it is not enough. Up above, compared with the student geniuses all over the world, your strength is even worse. There are a lot of schools, and their freshmen fit the relics, not Dragon Ball, at all. If you don't know enough in advance, you will be very disadvantaged when the time comes. Master, I'm still very optimistic about you, but I must go out and see more. Hearing the introduction of the old man opposite, Shu Heng's expression became solemn. The first place for freshmen is only in this ordinary school. Outside, there is a bigger world. You can't relax. Shu Heng made up his mind secretly that he must go outside and have a look. Continue to practice. After that, Shu Heng, who was about to leave, turned around and head straight for the gravity training room. In front of him, the janitor looked bewildered. Didn't you want to eat just now? Ellipsis 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 ...